In this video, I'm going to share with you a really easy, common R&B chord progression that is used in a lot of R&B songs. Even if you are a complete beginner, this will be for you. And if you watch until the end, I will give you a nice little surprise to keep you or get your foot in the door when it comes to learning the piano. So there are different types of chord progressions, and if you're a complete beginner, you might be thinking, Ayana, what in the world? First of all, what is a chord? And more importantly, what is a chord progression? A chord is a group of notes that are played at the same time. It's pretty much as simple as that. So if I were to play a melody by itself, without the chords, that's how it would sound. If I were to add chords, it would sound like this. A chord progression is a series of chords that I play one after the other. So what I just played from this chord to 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 this chord. So that string of chords that happen one after the other is a chord progression. So that's all chord progression is like a series of chords that happen in a particular song. So in R&B music, there are very common chord progressions that happen in a lot of songs. So once you learn a common chord progression, it makes it easy for you to pick out that chord progression that happens in current songs and even songs that are used in the future. Even if you're playing a new song, you may be thinking, wow, I remember this chord progression because I played it in a different song. All they're doing is they are recycling that chord progression into a new song. So one chord progression that I'm going to show you is what they call a 2-5-1 chord progression. And you're probably wondering, what is a 2-5-1 chord progression? And you have to forgive me in advance if I say 2-1-5. That's an error. That's me being originally from Philly, and Philly has a 215 area code. So I'm going to try my best to remember it's 251, not 215. All right, so here is what a 2-5-1 chord progression sounds like. Well, actually, that's one way that you can play it. But the one that we're going to learn today is going to sound like this. So where does the 2-5-1 come from? There are a few things that you need to know before I get into 2-5-1 if you are a complete beginner. The first thing is, in piano, fingers have numbers. So the thumb is number 1, and it goes 2, 3, 4, 5. The left hand is the same thing. Thumb is number 1, and it goes 2, 3, 4, 5. The other thing that you need to know, at least for this video, is that C is the white key to the left of the 2 black keys. And then it goes D, E, F, G, like the alphabet. So C, D, E, F, G. And then after G, it's A. And then it's B. And then it's C. And then the cycle just repeats itself. D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the piano is really just the same 7 white keys that repeat themselves over again. And the same 5 black keys. But we will not be doing the black keys today. We're keeping it simple. We're just working on the white keys. So if we are in the key of C, which is what we are, we're in this key, right? If we are in the key of C, and let's say if we were to play a C scale, right, which is just C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. In music, we have this thing called scale degrees. So if we're in the key of C, that means C is note number 1, or the first scale degree. D is number 2, which is the second scale degree. E is number 3, third scale degree. F is number 4. G is the 5th scale degree. A is the 6th scale degree. B is the 7th scale degree. And then we're back to C, which brings us back to the first scale degree, right? But if you were to attach chords to them, then you would have chord number 1, where let's say we have C, E, and G, and we play a C chord. and we play all three notes at the same time. So now we no longer have just note number one, we now have chord number one, right? And then if we go to D, which is note number two, if we make it a full chord, right, then it would be chord number two as well as note number two, which is D. So D is note number two and the D chord is chord number two, right? If we have E, we have note number three. If we make it a full chord, it is going to be chord number three, so on and so forth. So 2-5-1 is just referring to, we're going to play chord number two, right? Or in the bass, we play note number two. And then for the next one, if it's 5, that means we're going to play note number 5. And we're going to play note number 1. So in this case, we're talking about the notes, right? D, G, and C being note number 2, note number 5, and note number 1. So we're going to be dealing with the chords that belong to note number 2, note number 5, note number 1. But as opposed to playing just basic chords, we're going to play some richer chords to accompany that 2-5-1 bass, right? So here's how this is going to work. The first chord that we're going to play, as a matter of fact, we're going to play this same chord twice. So for the right hand, what we're going to do is we're going to play the thumb on C. The third finger we're going to extend over to play F, and the pinky is going to play A, and that gives us a C, F, A kind of chord, right? And I know you're wondering, where's the 2? I thought you said it was a 2, right? Again, we're basically, the full chord is actually going to be this chord, but we're just playing it like this, where we have C at the bottom, there will be a D, and an F and an A, but since the left hand is going to be playing D, which is the root, which is, you know, chord number 2, we're going to take out D, and we're going to play it down here. So the full chord that we're playing, which is chord number 2, is going to be D, F, A, C, right? Which is like an R&B type of chord. And I don't want to get too far into theory because I kind of want to just make it simple. But all we did was we did two things. We took D out of the right hand. We're going to play it with the left hand. And we took C and we brought it down here. So now we have this version of chord number 2. So the 2-5-1 is going to be taken care of by the left hand in terms of the second note, the fifth note, and the first note. So anyways, we have a thumb on C, the third finger on F, and the right hand pinky on A. Right? And then all we're going to do is we're going to play it again. Same thing, C, F, A. And then finally, for chord number, or for note number 1, or chord number 1, we're going to make a change. We're going to slide each finger over one key, which gives us thumb on the B, the third finger on E, and the fifth finger on G. So thumb goes to B, third finger goes to E, and then the pinky goes to G. Right? If I didn't mention this before, a chord can have 3 notes, 4 notes, 5 notes, so on and so forth. It kind of gets a little crazy. So before I get into the left hand, I do want to bring to your attention that I do have a free piano in 3 steps video for complete beginners if you want to get your foot in the door when it comes to learning piano. That video will go over not only just naming keys, but also being able to show you the basics of chords, progressions, and how to play both hands together. That video is free and it's in the description box. You can sign up for it. Make sure you do so before you leave this particular video. Now, the left hand, which I kind of already showed you, is going to have a very simple part. It's going to be D, which is note number 2. This is where the 2-5-1 will be represented. It's going to be represented on the left hand. And then the right hand just does a whole bunch of fancy things with the chords. So the next note So I may just use my fourth finger for D, right? I'll use my thumb for G, which is the fifth scale degree note, thus 5. And then I'll use my pinky to resolve to a C, which is note number 1. So 2, 5, 1, right? So now all we're going to do is we're going to combine the notes together, or the hands together. So that C, oh, and by the way, if you need to, this is why I break these videos up by the week. If you need to take some time to practice the right hand by itself for a couple of days before you practice the left hand, that's perfectly fine. You can always do the right hand by itself and then come back and do the left hand. And then you can come back to this video again, and then we put both hands together. So here's how that's going to look. So when the right hand brings that first chord in, the right hand C, so the thumb's going to go to C, the third finger goes to F, and as the pinky goes to A, when they come in at the same time, the left hand's going to come in on that second note, or the second scale degree note, which is D. We're going to use our fourth finger for that. Right? And then for the next one, for note number 5, we're going to keep our right hand where it is. So we're going to play C, F, and A again, but this time the left hand is going to go to G, and we're going to have a different kind of color of a chord. So you see how I'm playing the exact same chord on the right hand, but because I changed the bass or the scale degree, it gave it a different sound. Right? This is why knowing your chord progressions is important. So now we're going to change it up. We're going to bring our right hand thumb down to B, third finger to E, and then pinky to G. And at the same time, the left hand is going to go to that 1 progression, or that 1 chord. So now we have this. This is something that you can practice even if you are a complete beginner. This can help you get in the door with regards to learning R&B. And speaking of R&B, since you made it to this part of the video, I did say I was going to give you guys a surprise. So that surprise is I have another video that breaks down what makes R&B piano, or R&B as a genre, different than other genres like pop and so on and so forth. I will provide a video for that at the top right of this video. And if you did like this tutorial, not only should you subscribe, but you should also turn on the notification bell, because just because you subscribe does not mean that you will get an alert whenever I release a new weekly video. When you turn on the notification bell, which should be somewhere below this video, whenever I do release a video each week, that's when you will get the notification on your phone that I've released a new video. So make sure that you do both. Also, if you like this video, it helps YouTube show this video to more people. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. And also share this video with other people that you think might find this tutorial helpful. So thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next tutorial. Take care.